It's your boy Concertvids 34, and today I want to give a review of a special Dave Matthews and Carter Beauford presentation. They sent this hour recording to the fan club, the Dave Matthews Band Warehouse Association. I'm a proud member of it, and it's titled Dave and Carter, The Warehouse Session. Shot in a Virginia studio during this time of quarantine. 49 minutes and 42 seconds of music and about 10 minutes and change of just some awesome jokes, commentary, and moments that made us all laugh as we watched this and shared our experiences on social media. This recording was amazing because you could hear Dave Matthews' guitar perfectly clear, and it was complemented by one of the best drummers of all time, Mr. Carter Beauford. I could hear the hammer-ons and pull-offs of Grace Is Gone. The leaves were literally falling on fictional Gray Street as the clouds roamed in the air as Dave strung his 12-string Rockbridge guitar as he always does every show, but you can't hear it. I could hear it clear, just like the Lily White Sessions recording, and it was amazing to hear how great the Rockbridge guitar sounds when you can actually hear it. Because these guitars are crafted for an acoustic performance. The live band, they don't pop out so much because that's not what they're made for, really, in my opinion. The Rockbridge is made for the acoustic performance. Dave just decides to use them to support a small business, to support his boy, Brian Calhoun. But long story short, this recording highlights the amazing sounds of Dave and Carter. Carter complimenting Dave's guitar, not playing over it, and you just get such great percussive vibes from both of them. Carter playing on his drum set, and Dave in his unique strumming, which has a little bit of rhythm and funk and soul in it, the way he strums, like the washboard chord strums of Say Goodbye, or the pops of Pay For What You Get that you get when you listen to Dave play that rare song. I fell in love with these musicians. I didn't fall in love with Tim playing loud chords over Dave. Matter of fact, the first time I heard Tim Reynolds, he complimented Dave. He didn't play over him. So this is why people across the internet who are huge fans of the Dave Matthews Band or Dave Matthews or Carter Beauford have been so fulfilled by this session because it brought the band back to its acoustic roots. What made this band so great is they had a bass of Stefan Lessard on bass, Carter Beauford on the drums, and Dave Matthews playing acoustic guitar. And on top of that, you had an amazing saxophone player in Leroy Moore and a unique fiddle player in Boyd Tinsley, all together to create the core sound of this band that made the band popular. All right, this is before Tim Reynolds was touring full time. This is before Rashawn played the horns with the band. The core best part of the Dave Matthews Band is the acoustic bass sound that they brought out as they started this band. And you look at a Woodstock 99, a perfect example. It didn't matter what they were going to play that day. Everything sounded great because you heard Dave's guitar, you could hear Carter, you could hear the bass supporting Dave, and then on top of that, Boyd doing his high energy fiddle playing. We need more of that. And that's what this gave us, even though it was just Dave and Carter. You felt that acoustic bass that we do not get at the live show really often. And the jokes, man, and the interactions were awesome. Carter had a cigar, y'all. He came out, in between, he took a little puff of the cigar, put it down, had that big old smile. And Carter had a quarantine beard. You gotta love it. It's quarantine. People are growing their hair out. People are just not looking the same. They're changing up hairdos. And Carter's got the quarantine beard. You love to see it. And it was pretty cool to see that. And then some of the jokes, like the Carter's like, we got something for Corona. All right, we got something for Corona as they get ready to play another song. And then Dave like, oh, we just got that right. And Carter's like, I'm following you. No, Dave's like, I'm following you. Well, look, we got to it right. We got it right. So it was awesome to hear that. And then of course Dave saying, love thy neighbor. And if your neighbor happens to be Carter Beauford, oh, you're lucky. You're blessed. Just some awesome commentary and jokes in between. And the thing about this performance, you had one stand-up song, Out of My Hands, which is a beautiful song on piano to start off the show. Outside of that, nothing past stand-up or in stand-up was played outside of Out of My Hands. That's what made this session great. I did not say at one point in this session, dang, they shouldn't have played that song. Man, they shouldn't have played that song. Bro, why did they play that song? I'm going to the bathroom. Every song had me glued to the screen, and they weren't all rare songs. Satellite sounded amazing because Satellite is a beautiful song at its core, as we just experienced watching this amazing performance. This band, if they only played everything pre-stand-up and maybe you add an Out of My Hands or American Baby intro, but if they just played stuff pre-stand-up for an entire summer, you would get set lists like this that captivate crowds with the acoustic-based core of this band, all right? They turn into a rock band during Big Whiskey, and some of that stuff's good. Some of that stuff is, I don't really need it. So I really think that this performance shows what happens when you actually play the classic albums only, and it makes every show better no matter what they play. They can't miss, right? In Satellite, again, beautiful song without Tim's etching parts that cut through the sound of Dave when you can hear Dave's guitar. And we saw this on Live Tracks 31 when you could hear Dave's guitar, and Butch, who played keys with the band for a period of time, complimented the piano. I would love to hear an acoustic version of this with Buddy Strong playing piano, not the organ, but playing piano, and just like the Live Tracks 31 version. We also learned a little bit about some history about Halloween, which, by the way, sounded amazing with just Dave and Carter. And you actually, when you just have Dave's guitar strumming really loudly, it still is as impactful as when Tim is with the band and you have the loud noises of the electric guitar, which are good in Halloween. But just Dave's guitar, when you hear it strumming loud, it still creates that eerie feeling of the song without having to have this wall of electric guitar. And we learned that Dave and Carter debuted this song at Tracks with just them as a duo playing it. And, Dave just tells Carter, look, I got this song about to play. Just do this type of rhythm, and we're going to play this song. We're going to get through it. And they played it, and I'm sure they killed it because they kept playing it over and over, and it's a fan favorite for some of the hardcore fans like me. So that was pretty cool to hear some history, and that was right at the end of this recording. You hear them talk about this, so very, very cool. Now, what we learned from this, what you should learn from this, what I already knew, Dave sounds better when everything that is performed behind him complements him, doesn't play over him, isn't higher up in the mix, isn't unnecessary. We also see that less is more. Less is more with this band because at the core, when Dave is just playing, you get this awesome session, and Carter playing behind him, complimenting him. Just them two together sounds better. I would rather have this than some of the performances we get live. So then brings the question, the Dave and Carter tour. People want to have them tour together. I don't think that's a good idea. And also with the crowd, I don't trust people enough to shut up during the recording. However, I'll say this. A Dave, Stefan, and Carter, maybe, a core trio like that. And maybe you have possibly like a little bit of Buddy Strong, or maybe you bring Buddy on too. I think that would be something the noise would play over the crowd. But I think that a Dave and Carter tour, plus also to pay for that and get to a venue, I think they should give you a little more. That's why I think Stefan being there would be awesome. And then again, I think Buddy complements this band. He doesn't play over. Where I think Tim, and not to say Jeff doesn't play over the band. Jeff is amazing too. But I think having just a trio or a quartet there with the Buddy, Dave, Carter, and Stefan, that could be a better idea. Now, what I would also suggest is having a show, maybe it's a show in the past, where they just highlight Stefan's bass playing, meaning they turn up Stefan's mix and they play a full show, and you hear Stefan's bass hop out in the mix, and you have everything else toned down for a recording they release to the public. I think that would show, because Stefan is amazing. I know some people were slandering Stefan after this on Twitter, just minority of people that wanted attention and, well, look at me. But I think that some of Stefan's bass parts are amazing. I would love to hear like just Stefan turned up, even Dave and everyone turned down, and we hear like maybe 30 minutes of a show, maybe the full 2.5 hours of a show, and you get to see what Stefan brings with his bass line. And Dave mentioned that in this recording. He's like, oh man, I miss Stefan helping me out here. I miss his smooth bass line here. I would love to see that as maybe another step that they take during this quarantine. Late, into maybe beginning of 2021, they release something with Stefan's highlighted bass, or maybe Stefan and Dave do a show. They've performed together on a side stage at a festival before. That would be cool. But I think that a Dave and Carter performance for a tour when things get better, you may want to bring more. I mean, I would still go, but I think that you may want to bring in a bass, or even maybe bring in the keys with Buddy. I think that would be a more cool thing, because you could still have maybe a song Dave and Carter do, but to go and travel, you want to have a little more pop. That's why Dave and Tim work so great, is because Tim can give you the complimentary playing of really someone else to complement Dave's playing. I think, though, that the biggest takeaway from this, that if the management and the sound guys and the great hardworking people of the Dave Matthews Band's crew look at this, the number one thing you should take away from the fan reaction is, hey, people like hearing Dave's guitar. And I know Dave even wants people to play over him. But hey, maybe we turn up, maybe the guys and gals behind the sound mixing turn up Dave a little more during Gray Street so we can hear that 12-string guitar. Maybe they turn down Tim. Maybe they cut Rashawn's mic off for certain songs, or they let Rashawn take a break. Because I'm telling you, if this energy is brought to stages, I'm going to more shows. If I can hear Dave's guitar during Satellite highlighted, or maybe they just play Satellite acoustically without Tim's parts, respectfully to Tim, I would love shows much more. And I still love going. I'm going to go to shows regardless, but your boy would be going to more shows if they had this acoustic-based vibe. And I'm telling you, more fans would go to more shows, because fans stopped going to shows because the band became a rock band. And the band has had the baritone guitar for years, since the early 2000s, but they have become a rock band for at least half the show, if not more. And some ways that can be fun, but in other ways it takes away from the core of what this band was. So I think that management, the band, if they listen to the feedback of the fans want this acoustic based sound. Everyone loved it. New fans, old fans, young fans, old fans, stalker fans, less bold fans. I'm just trying to rhyme here now. But I'm just saying, this thing was amazing. And if they can keep the same energy, as we say in the hip hop world, or as they say in the streets, if they can keep the same energy and bring it onto the stage and turn Buddy's keys up and turn Carter up a little more, or maybe not, Carter's fine, but turn Dave's guitar up more and turn some of the, electric guitar and the trumpet a little bit down, this band would be on a whole other level as they're growing and they're progressing. I still think since Buddy has been here, they've done some great things, tried some new stuff. They're happier on stage. But bruh, let's keep it acoustic. Let's keep it acoustic. Turn down the electric guitar just a little bit. Get Tim an acoustic guitar for Snow Outside during a full band set, right? I really hope that they can look to see the feedback from this and bring it onto the stage in 2021 or 2022. Because let's be honest, 2021, Stefan said in Twitter he wants to be back. But, I mean, maybe end of the year. We got the vaccines got to roll out and be proven. So that's a whole nother video, and I'll make a video on that in the next couple of weeks. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Concertvids 34. Peace.